drinking whiskey when that whiskey's burned through my veins. Indian goes crazy and the Scotsman wants to bash out the brains of an Englishman. Don't know why. Got a little mixed up in the hills of Carolina. You see, you got your selling and you got your drinking whiskey. Oh yeah, drinking whiskey. Oh yeah.
Tonight I've got what you want. This is the good stuff that you've been waiting for. So pull out that throne, take a seat on it. Enter those deep things of Satan with me. Tonight we're going to look at the mystery itself in operation. I'm going to take you directly to that spot and let you be witnesses. Lovely. That, and we've got a couple of great clips. Welcome to Lady Babylon Bible Study. So now we've got to set the stage. We've got to get into our ship. We've got to go back. We're going to go back to the contemporary first. We're going to go back to the contemporary first, and we're going to look at a rite in performance, in actual performance. This is something that some people will hold up in front of your face. They will sell it. They will talk about it, but they will never unseal it. Tonight we're unsealing it. I want to start off in order to achieve this. It takes a lot of gas. So we're going to have to pay with a little necromancy, which I know that you all love. And so tonight I want to bring back a little Petrarch. I want you to be able to see through the eyes of those who've had the purple. Chewy, hit it. Everybody is paying attention to the subliminal messaging. We're with Petrarch, and we've pulled him off. Fish, it's all in there. We have pulled up Petrarch, and we have him now talking to her. She is going to address him with those immortal eyes. Let's see what she says. With that, we bring the necromancer back through time. Remember that Petrarch in his Secretum, yes, he wrote a work called The Secret. And that is from the beginning of The Secret. And we're going to go to the same place using his long vanished, long charred and devoured skin. We're going to use that Petrarch energy to power our ship to get us there to the right. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Petrarch. For those of you who don't know, Petrarch also had a little red book from which he cast the sortes. And you say, what of these sortes? Before we get there, let's get past the morons that are standing at the doors. Let's get past the morons. How many of you, raise your hand if you have heard of the Mithras liturgy? Yes, I see. Many of you have heard of it, right? And many of you have watched shows on it, show after show after show, with all the explanations and the ideas of what it possibly could mean. Yes, all the historical hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Let's go to it. We have to get into that place. We have to go there. So I want to take you there, and things are going to get a little bit, well, it might feel like you are on the journey. So for those of you who are there and have ears to hear, get ready to get wound up. Are you ready? Here it comes. Let's bring up that first text, Chewy. Let's hit the Greek. She was nice, but let's pull up the Greek. Fantastic. Can you, here, let me turn this around a little bit. Look, what is going on? A little bit of Greek. I'm not going to keep this up the whole time. Some of you like it right off the front. Some of you get into it and it gets your spirit going. You like it. So for those of you, I'm going to bring this text, but I'm not going to throw this thing up here the whole time. Hilathi moi pronoia kai psyche ta de grafonti ta aprata paradota musteria monoi de technoi athanasian axio. Oh, isn't that nice? Let me just translate that for you. Go ahead and leave it up, Chewy. I got to read it too. Ilathi moi. This is from Hilasko Mai, right? He's trying to create an area of reconciliation. Yeah, it's the first thing you do when you're powering your battery. You know what I mean? Come on, pay attention. Hilathi moi. Who is it with whom he is bringing that union? Pronoia. And those of you who worship Athena right away will know who we're talking about. Isn't that nice? The Virgin right up front. I don't smell male divine testicles for a mile. Pronoia kai psyche. Isn't that beautiful? The Blessed Virgin and soul. Yeah. For the one writing the mysteries that are without profit, unsaleable mysteries, things that are given paradota for the sake of the instruction in the right. Yes, what does he ask for? He says, I ask for athanasian, for his one and only child. He has directions to her in a minute. Do you see where we've landed? Bring me off of there. He has directions. Thanks. A little bit slow tonight. Chewy, I told you to fix that. Okay. It's okay. It's a good thing Chewy's here. What exactly is happening? This is somebody who's writing for that one child. And that one child that is being initiated is a she, and she is looking for athanasia. Athanasia. What is that? We've got a Greek tonight, our first little Greek from Alice. Where's Alice? Alice, come here. Come here. Tell me, what is athanasia? Alice, you smell like a Victorian's bedroom. Why is that? Immortality. Okay, athanasia. I see. It's just an alpha privative plus the thon root being death, right? It's just not death, a state of not death. Wait a minute. Look at Roman numeral number 2, an elixir. Oh, that makes me want to drink it when it says elixir. I don't care if it is a poison, right? Elixir or antidote. And you see that Galen uses it in connection with the Mithridatic theriac. You are so deep in the drugs at this point. Look, we couldn't get 2 lines into this thing without being waist deep in drugs. Now, bring that down for a minute. I just want you to notice, we'll come back to that. We have an announcement, by the way. Devil wanted me to announce, for those of you who have sold the mystery, please report immediately to the lowest level of Tartarus. For those of you who have sold the mystery, please report to the lowest level of Tartarus. Thank you for your cooperation. Let's go back to Alice here. Look at the bottom. What is athanasia that we're giving this girl? What is it? Is it an elixir or an antidote? Look at that bottom line. It's the same thing as ambrosia. And what is ambrosia? The very next slide. Thanks. We're a little bit slow tonight. Look at that. That's okay. Don't worry. We'll get them tuned up later. Ambrosia, immortality, right? Immortality, elixir of life, as used by gods for food, as perfume, as unguent. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, look at all the different iterations of this. In Corinthians, it's krinon, right? And we'll see that. Ambrosia. What is the ambrosia? The ambrosia with a capital A is a festival of Dionysus. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that you had to know that? No, you didn't. But here we are, and there she is, and this is what she's going through. Oh, great. Any questions? I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's keep peeking in, right? They don't say this. They don't say this in the other YouTube bits, right? We're not going to go there. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sit around. We're going to look at ourselves in the mirror. We're going to look at ourselves. We're going to say, I want to see myself. I want to see myself for all my glory. That's what we do. And we don't want to do that here. We want to see what's actually going on. There's no reason not to, right? We've got the Greek. Let's push. Let's push. All my students, keep pushing. Yes. Let's go down to the, let's go back to the first. There we go. Okay. So have mercy upon me, pronoia and psyche, right? For the one writing out the rights, who doesn't have any sort of motive for selling them, right? I want the athanasia for my one girl. Tell me, you mustai, tell me, you who are involved in the rite, you who have been initiated into our great power. Oh, isn't that nice? This is what it's a wonderful plea, isn't it? It's glorious, glorious. And then we have these little parentheses, and he says, it's necessary that you, my daughter, that you collect the hulus botanon, that you collect the drugs. Yeah. And seeing the things that are about to come about in the end of this holy book. Yeah, it's important for you to follow these things. Yeah. Oh, you mystics of our great power, which the great god Helios Mithras ordered should be given to me by the archangel. Yeah. Yeah. In order that I alone may ascend Uranos. Isn't that nice? And that I might oversee, that I might, boom, be pulled out and be in that place where the prophets go. Now, he's going to give us the formula, right? Because he's told his daughter right off the bat here. He said, you're going to take all of the drugs that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this, after the liturgy. And you say, wait, liturgy, what is that? Liturgy. And all of a sudden, all of the scholars and all of the people who wear the hats of knowledge, they all spit in your face. Yes, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize the deal you're getting. Yeah, because they take this and they cover it with a layer of dung. A layer of dung. Let's see what actually happens. Let's see what actually happens. Those drugs, we're going to look at them and how they're prepared in a minute. Good news, by the way, on the Mycenaean front. Do we have the Mycenaean? I think it's this one. There we go. Pull that up. Just, okay, look, the ship. We went a little bit far back. It was a little bit jerky there, but I want you to see this, this mitawesa. Yes, or in the Greek, the Attic Greek, miltawesa, right, with that digamma. Does everybody see that Mycenaean digamma from the linear B? You didn't know that was there, right? Because in Attic Greek, you don't see that. But that invisible letter pops in and out of very important places, like Korwa, the queen of the underworld, right? The Korwa. Well, look what we've got here. This is the miltawesa. This is the miltawesa. And what is the miltos? The miltos is the stuff that we're looking at. It's the hair, the Limnian earth, baby, that you put in your hair. These are special ladies. Special ladies. These are powerful women. Yes, you better watch out. This is glorious. I love this. Let's go one more time back to the main text. Yeah, and I just want you to see here, this last thing I'm going to talk about is that she is now going to give you the opening of what she is going to say in this procedure, in this mystery. Are you ready? Hear her voice. Thank you, Petrarch. Thank you. Hear her voice. Genesis prote tesimes geneseos. You know what I just gave you? Take it down, the alpha to the omega. I just gave you that. You want to know what the alpha to the omega is? You got to know some esoteric stuff. And I'm not talking about walking around like a clown with your big red nose on, your big red shoes. I'm not talking about that esoteric. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm talking about the real thing. Alpha to omega. Why do you think they never told you? Because they don't study this stuff. Nobody studies this stuff. Who has the skill philologically to take it apart and tell you what it means, right? They prefer not to. I don't know. Blame Harvard. Can we blame? We should have a session for blaming Harvard. Okay. One more time, the main text. And I've got to communicate this thoroughly. First Genesis of my Genesis. Here is the Alpha and the Omega. Look at it. Look at that Alpha, Epsilon, Eta, Iota, Omicron, Upsilon, Omega. You know what those are? Those are the vowels. Those are all the vowels in Greek. Those are the 7 spheres. You are tuning the 7 spheres when you reach from alpha to omega. In that paragraph that we just read, that just opening paragraph, this is something they will not give you, right? The clowns get out of their cars, da 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 da. Nice production, meaningless. What is that tuning? It's the movement from alpha to omega. There are 3 words in that opening paragraph that are directly pulled from biblical mystery. Directly. Now, did they get it? Who got it from who? No, the biblical mystery got it from these guys. Because this book that we're reading, this is the one Paul doesn't want you to read. This is the one where that dude comes into town. He's yelling at the Pythia. We're all like, what? And he's saying, you got to take those magic books and you got to throw them out. You got to throw them out. And I got to redo the baptism of John. And everybody's like, that's a good idea. Book burning is always the way to start. No, they didn't do that. They didn't say that. They just did it because they didn't have enough brains to say, what are we doing by destroying one thing? We're supposed to generate another? What kind of world is this that we live in? No, shame on them all for throwing away their books. Thankfully, somebody found the trash heap. And that's where we get the thing that the scholars call the Mithraic liturgy. The Mithraic liturgy. Fantastic. You can find the vocabulary that Paul is using in the PGM, in the Papyri Graecii Magicae. You can find the language Paul is using. You can hone down so that when Jesus says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, that it is not a surprise. It's not a surprise to you. We are practicing rites that have been established since the Bronze Age. That's why they have the drugs in their hair. That's why they have the drugs in their hair. We're coming up on this again. We're resurrecting this world, bringing it back. Okay, I want to read you a little bit. I'm going to allow Chewy to hypnotize you with some images. As I read to you our performance, and I want you to again set yourself in the place of the girl who's being initiated, and perhaps of those who were around her who are participating in the liturgy. I'm going to read it to you. First origin of my origin, first beginning of my beginning, spirit of spirit, the first of the spirit in me, fire given by God to my mixture of the mixtures in me, the first of the fire in me, water of water, the first of the water in me, earthy material, the first of the earthy material in me, my complete body. I intername here. Yes, right. Intername here. I, whose mother is blank. Yeah. Blank, whose mother is blank. That's interesting. They're talking about matrilineage. That's kind of nice. It's baked into these gynecological rites. These are originally gynecological rites. This isn't the most gorgeous thing ever. Nothing is. Nothing. Love it. Okay. The Mycenaean will clear all of your heads. It's 800 years pre-Hebrew. Okay. So anybody who is gonna plop out Jehovah, don't do it. By the way, next Friday, this coming Friday, Gnostic Informant and I will be duking it out on the battlefield for a fight club. And you will decide. We will poll. And you will decide who is the clear victor. Yes, it should be a great fight. A great fight. I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. If we are going to bring her back and her voice so that Petrarch can stand with us, we've got to understand the power and where the power is coming from. I want you to look at images of the power of the Uranian queen, the power of the Uranian queen. And I want you to consider, I'm going to give this to you in one short clip. I want you to consider that the rites of Bacchus, who is guiding us, the rites of Bacchus and the deep things of Satan always lead to her. They had that expression. They said, always ace Aphrodite. So, what is that Uranian power? Do we have? Thanks to Petrarch, all of the symbols are there for you to pull from that. That is a compressed stream. So happy fishing. What I want you to feel here is that Uranian power, that Uranian drive that causes the cosmos to turn as we step out and begin to look at the gods, as our eyes are opened, as we are born again, as we see the gods, as we see the gods in control of the universe, we follow the muse. Yes, Urania is a muse. You say, what did you just show me? That did not look like something from the museum. Yes, that's the heart of the museum. That's why Bacchus has a giant dildo set up in every temple of the muses. Every temple has in its interior a phallic medical applicator. Is that something? Isn't that something? Is there any way we're running a little bit choppy tonight due to some kind of interference? Is there any way we can show that clip again? I want people to see I want to see that beginning. Let's see it. For those of you who were able to see the symbols. Fantastic. That monkey, by the way, got 5 to 7. They never caught the donkey though. He's out. Managed to evade, but that monkey won't be doing that again. Shame on that monkey. When you look at the animal world and you look into the performance of the mystery, you're going to see the mirror image of the vocalizations that you have in Ritu. They're being given out by the priestesses, by the mustai, and by the participant, by the initiate, we should say. You're going to see those utterances become a part of the performances. Those are communications. Remember, we necromancers, we learn from those ravens. We learn from those leopards. Yes, there's a reason we as Balkans ride the leopard. Have you ever ridden a leopard? You should try sometime. There's a reason that we look up. We have it here. We have it here. Look up at the sky and tell me, can you see the gods in motion? Everything is becoming lucid. Thank you. We are bringing, by the way, what time is it? What time is it that we're performing this rite? And thank you, everybody, for staying. What time is it that we're performing this rite in antiquity? Right before the sun rises. You guys all knew that. You were all on that. I know you were. You were like, oh, this thing's probably at that pre-rising sun thing where we're bringing the dawn. If we were heralding the dawn, we would want to be a star. We would want to be one of those Luciferians, right? One of those dawn bringers, one of those bearers of the light. Here she is. She's being initiated. Let's not turn away from it. Let's watch her. She's being initiated. Let's see what happens to her. I want to continue. Should we possess these people, please? It's the least that we can do. Oh, with the most steadfast air, that I may be born again in thought, and the sacred spirit may breathe in me. You see what she wants? She wants the in-breathing of that spirit. You understand that Holy Spirit. That Holy Spirit is a fire, an unquenchable fire. Do you like that? Do you see how it shielded Aphrodite when the Christians kicked her out of the temple and clogged the mystery with a giant ball of feces? Do you see what happens to the pipes? They got all clogged up. But she's still there. We can hear her echo. You can hear her echo. This is fantastic. Being born again. Does anybody else want to be born again? Maybe some of you have. Have you been born again? Do you want to be born again? Perhaps you want to be unborn. Yes, let go, he says, of what you have, and then you'll receive. Right? You thought that was Jesus with the whole money corruption thing. No, you're not to pass on these for any price. Any price. In the very first lines, he says, I have not passed this on for profit. Yes, for those of you who have, every single sale, every purchase is coming for you right now. It's coming for you right now. Welcome to prison. Yeah, this is cell block Satan. Yeah, don't you think that Satan is able to punish, right? It's his realm, baby. His realm. One thing he doesn't like, greed. Greed stains your soul. He's got guardians who stand at the gates of his kingdom. And you know what they say? One of them is Eos, that light bringer. And 3 of them are Furies. And you know what they say constantly? This is just from the dead poets that tell us this. Your soul is stained with the stench of ruin because of your greed. Greed stains your soul with a stench of ruin. Look inside yourself as you're convicted of that inner sin. Look inside yourself and say, what would that handsome devil want? Yeah, he didn't want that stuff. He didn't want that stuff, the money. Mortals, the watchers are watching, right? We love it. Okay, let's keep going because there's some brilliance here. There's some brilliance here. And I mean, not coming from me. I'm in the light that's in the text. Draw in the breath from the rays. These are instructions, right? Draw in the breath from the rays. Remember, she's taking her drugs. So, okay, this is a very well handled trip. Right, this mystery is fantastic. Drawing breath from the rays, drawing up 3 times as much as you can, and you will see yourself being lifted up, ascending to the height. You will hear nothing either of man or of any other living thing. In Greek, this is what I would call a form of Sibylline prophecy, this expression. Yes, you are hearing neither neither human nor animal. I am in a state where I am hearing neither human nor animal, right? You have cut yourself off. Part of the operation is producing a bubble of silence. Okay, for those of you with ears to hear, get back on the throne. Do whatever you have to do, but get back on the throne and hear this. I'm about to throw 5-pointed stars at you. Yes, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Nor in that hour will you see anything of mortal affairs on earth, but rather you will see all immortal things. Hapanta. Yeah, all things, it says, immortal. Notice how we're transitioning into that athanasia. This is that nectar. Why do you think, pull that down for a minute, why do you think the ancient gods are always drinking nectar? Yes, nectar and ambrosia. They're flapping that stuff up. That's what gives them immortality. You mean gods are made gods? Yes. Those of you who love the Bible so know that. You'll eat of that tree and your eyes will be opened just like gods. Yes. Look what we're doing. We're doing Bronze Age hoffing. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Oh, we love it. We love it. For in that day and hour you will see the divine order of the skies, the presiding gods rising into heaven and others setting. Now the course of the visible gods will appear through the disk of God, etc., etc. And he goes on to describe it, the vision that she will be put through the whole time, guiding her on what to do. And it turns out she's supposed to have certain verbal commands. Sige, 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 silence, silence, silence. This is Takita. Some people were asking about the worship of Takita, Dea Takita. Right. She who no longer has that power of speech. What is her echo? If you can capture the echo of Takita, you can speak dragon tongue. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. If you can capture the understanding of Takita, if you can take that metis, Pronoia will guide you. Don't worry. The Virgin will guide you. There's a reason that she is here, right? For those of you who are in the audience, I just want to remind you, thank you for your time. And I know that most of you know this, maybe one or two of you don't, but democracy was created under the tutelage of a virgin goddess. Yeah. Fantastic. If you have strayed from the virgin goddess and you have people walking around in bags who don't have the same ability to be educated, don't have the same freedoms that you do, if you don't have that statue on the hill of the Virgin anymore, Oh, goodness. How can you expect to shield democracy? How can you expect? You can't. Look at this right and what is doing to the person who is going to be entering this place where they see everything functioning. Can you see the unseen? See, the thing is, when you see the unseen, yeah, when you hear the unheard, when you are there and able to chemically open up this space, when you are able to, thanks to the Renaissance, to be able to do so, you enter that space that Petrarch narrates in his Secret. Yes, the reason that Petrarch could open a book at random and have a conversation with his beloved, right? The entire Secret is about their conversation. Yeah, guiding you through, no different from Mithras. And why do they call him Mithras? You remember, they call the granddaughter of the sun Mitra. Yeah, we know that Colchian queen. We know she is the Mitra. Right? Who have we got here that we're initiating? This is fantastic. I want to read you a couple more lines. We're going to stop because I don't want to keep you for long. And I want to give you, because you're giving me your time, and I appreciate it. You don't have time for anything but the goods, and I don't want to sell you anything. So I'm trying to bring you the best. I'm trying to bring you the best. Yeah. I mean, you can only make it tornado so many times before somebody gets wise, you know. Symbol of the living, incorruptible God, guard me, silence. Then make a long hissing sound. Next, make a popping sound. And say, then you will see the gods looking graciously upon you and no longer rushing you, but rather going about in their own order of affairs. So when you see that the world above is clear, remember the phrase that we have with the Bacchae? Yes, when she is coming to, how does that maddened woman who just tore off the head of another human being that she thought was a lion, but ended up being her son, how did she come out of it? She came out of it by looking up. And when the sky cleared, she came back to her senses and she saw what she had done. And she knew that Bacchus was just. Yeah, why? Because she had called his mother a liar. She had called his mother a liar. She said the child was a child of God. And they laughed at her. They laughed at her. We want to burn off the mortality in the lightning. We are burning off the mortality. We are bringing you athanasia. Athanasia. We are bringing you that antidote. Yes, gorgeous. Gorgeous. We're going to continue and we're going to show you where she goes, right? And what she becomes. And we're going to show you how she moves through the initiation. Yes. In order to show you the workings of the gods that you can't see. Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. You can't come back from this. You can't come back from this without an appreciation for that virgin who stands on that hill and brings us victory, right? Brings us freedom. Yes, yes. When you change the paradigm, when you take the mystery and you alter the physics so as to reduce the virgin and to exalt the jackass, and I say that straight up, donkey, the donkey who carries that right, Let those of you who have ears to hear, hear. Yes, on the back of that donkey is that mystery. The priests knew it and they wrote about it. We showed you in the candor, right? So I want to just pull back. I want to pull back and I want to say thank you for attending. You should be able to walk within this framework very comfortably. This is the profanation of the mystery. You will find out that in the temple of Jerusalem, is the dote and the antidote. You will find that they were performing the rites to take them into the wilderness. And you will find that Judaism, Christianity are built upon a practice that was created in the Bronze Age, and that this practice will come to you in living flesh, that you will see it as we raise those dead from their graves. Have a good night. I'll see you Friday.
Drinking whiskey.